Hi, everybody, and welcome to this special episode celebrating International Women's Day. Tomorrow, March 8th, it's a day dedicating to honoring the achievements of women from the past, the present, as well as the future generations that follow. Of course, we recognize that a lot of work still needs to be done. And this year, we are aiming at accelerating action by amplifying exactly the voices of female leaders of today who are breaking the barriers and inspiring change and shaping the future. And this is what our show is all about, featuring the female leaders of today. I want to dive in and listen to their stories, their insights, and the impact they're making today that also shapes the tomorrow, the future. I'm Carissa Skodra, OneStream Live's brand ambassador, and today my guest lineup is truly impressive. I'm very humbled and honored to be in the presence of this amazing women that I have here waiting in the backstage. And I want you also we are streaming live to Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. I want you all to stay tuned in and engaged. I will be asking you questions, so you will see the question passing from underneath your screen. So make sure you leave your comments wherever you're watching us from. So let's make you also the fifth guest of this show. Let's have a nice inspirational discussion. So now my first guest will join me shortly in the studio. Let me welcome Ani Filippova. Hi, Ani.
Hey, hello. I'm so happy to be with you. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much for coming. It's a great honor and pleasure to have you. You are based in my own native country of Greece, right?
Yes, correct. I'm based in Athens.
Right, great. Greetings to Greece and Athens. Thank you for joining us. You are the number one female content creator in Greece, a lady with more than 25 years of international experience. You come from the banking world, so you're a former banker turned entrepreneur. You have an impressive track record. You give TED Talks. You're a keynote speaker on women empowerment around the world. And you also have, you're a podcast host, so you're a pro. You've done this before. I've been following you. We're connected on LinkedIn. I've been following your content. But you also have an exclusive community that you're managing. You'll tell us all about it. But on your website, I'll start with this. You said you're the change advisor, you're the CEO and founder of Change Advisory. So you say there was a line: the fastest way to grow is to learn from those who have done it before you. So tell me a little bit how this resonates with you. Who has done it before you? Is it your mother, your grandmother, your teachers, later on some mentors in your banking career? Do you have any women who inspired you as such?
That's a great question to start with. So, at every stage of my career, I had different people who have inspired me. When I just can't even remember who were the people who inspired me when I was young, but generally, there were women and also men who were ambitious, fearless, who are successful, who have achieved whatever I wanted to achieve. So that's exactly what was driving me throughout my career. So you can imagine that in the beginning of my career, there are people who are above me at the corporate ladder, and this is what I was aspiring to be, just like them, or people who are already successful, who have really great career, they have great life, they have things that I aspire to have. And as I was moving throughout my life and my career, I would achieve things that I was dreaming about. And then at every stage, you have different dreams and different people that you aspire to be like. So at this moment of time, I'm 55, and the two women that come to mind that really I look up to and I just enjoy watching what they do and their work. The first one is Trini Wudo. She's a British entrepreneur. She's amazing. She just turned 60 and she's so active, and it's amazing. She started her company at the age of 53, and it's a great success in Britain. Another one is Mel Robbins. Mel Robbins is she's 58, around my age, and she started her podcast when she was 53. Her podcast is great. She has published several books, and I just admire people who don't lose their interest and curiosity about life, and they can achieve things at every stage of life. Because we think, when you're young, this is where you live, and then when you become in your 50s and 60s and become older, you just step down from the stage. And I completely disagree with that. And it's great that we are aging, because I would prefer to age than not. And at any stage of your life, you can do whatever you decide you want to do. And there are many people you can talk to who have done it before you, and that's the best way to learn. To me, that's the best way to learn. I don't learn by reading books. I read books, of course, but the best way of learning for me is by example. I just follow and talk to people who have done something that I want to do. It doesn't mean that I do copy paste, or anyone should do that, but at least listen about the lessons they had, what was the successes, what were the failures, and try to avoid the failures and have the successes.
Annie, you mentioned your age. You're 55, even though you look much younger. But with the wisdom that comes from your experience, you're well-traveled, you have international experience. What advice would you give to your younger self if you go back in time and you see little Annie growing up in Bulgaria, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, Bulgaria, yes.
You grew up 55 years ago in a part of the Balkans. A specific part of the Balkans. So tell me a little bit about the advice you would give to the little girl named Annie.
Yeah. Well, I grew up in socialist Bulgaria behind the Iron Curtain. So what I would give, the first thing I would say to myself or to any young girl or any young boy, don't be afraid. And being afraid comes with, you don't know the things that are in front of you, and you're afraid of them for some reason. This is how we are designed. But don't be afraid, and put a lot of efforts early in your life and career to fight this fear, because the fear it's useless basically, because it doesn't help you. It doesn't make you strong, not at all. It just stops you, and it prevents you from experiencing amazing things and achieving things that you are planning to achieve. So don't be fearful. Fear is part of our life. Everything new that we do, we are fearful. But train yourself, don't be fearful. The second thing I would say is being different and standing out is great. It's absolutely great. And coming from a socialist country, that was not how I was brought up. It was, you have to, follow the rules. Don't speak up a lot. And that was something that I had a lot of trouble overcoming at a later stage, because when you start your career and your life, if you don't speak up, if you are not actually having an opinion, or having an opinion and don't say anything, you're not going to progress. So being different and being ambitious is great. You should always do it. You should not stop yourself. And from my age of 55, not that it's too much, but the thing is, always look after yourself and your body, because you have one body which is going to carry you throughout your life. And it's so important. And we so often forget about this, especially when we are young. We think, that's it, we can conquer the world, which is true. But if you're healthy, if you're a sports person and you just exercise, eat healthy, and keep yourself in the best shape you can be, that's
Physically
unbelievably
and
helpful.
mentally.
Absolutely, physically and mentally, because you can't be mentally sharp if you're physically not well. It's as
Ani,
simple as that.
tell us a little bit about the transition you made many years ago, because this changed, because the red thread, or one of the red threads that connects all my special female leaders and guests today, is entrepreneurship, is change. So tell me a little bit about the transition you made from leaving the banking world, perhaps a very male-dominated industry, to do your own thing, as you said, to be the person who you are, to follow your ambitions, to be your true authentic self. Did you face backlash? Did you have naysayers? Did you self-doubt it? Did you say, oh no, I won't make it? Did you have that paralyzing fear? Did you hear comments from your family that, hey, how you out of your mind? What are you doing? This is madness. Did you have other internal self-doubt or external concerns your way?
Absolutely. I'm just a person, and I have all the fears and all the doubts and everything that you read on the book, and procrastination and everything. These are human features. We all have them. The important thing is how you deal with them. Do you use them to actually think about the things that people say and stop? Or do you think about the things people say and say, no, this is not right, and they're not right, and I'll do X now so I can improve on what I was planning, because what somebody said made me think about it. So absolutely, we all have doubts, and making such a decision to leave your job, a well-paid job with status and everything, and start something completely new is frightening. It's absolutely, but it took me time to, first of all, realize what these fears are. So I had listed all my fears, what I'm afraid is going to happen. And then I started very intentionally address every single fear. So for instance, I'm not going to succeed. Okay, so why do I think I'm not going to succeed? I have succeeded for so many years so far. I know how to make a business plan. I have managed large budgets. I've worked with people. I've worked with clients. So why do I think it's not going to work when I start working on my own? So one by one, all these fears started being, I realized that they're not fears and that I can actually succeed. And I had a plan of how to do it. So it's so important to be self-aware of these showstoppers, can I call them, and these fears, and talk to people, have mentors, speak with people who have done it, because they went through the same. We all go through the same path, and all these steps. Actually, at the end, I said to myself, well, yeah, there might be some glitches, there might be some potholes, but I'm going to make it, because I've made it before, and because I have a plan, and because I want to make it. So it's as simple as that, is that there is nothing so complex about it, apart from being aware, knowing what you want, getting different opinions, and finalizing what is the best for you, and just actually act. Because if you sit around, wait, and all these thoughts are going into your head, and you're thinking, oh my goodness, it's actually worse if you don't. The best way to eliminate fears is by action. There is no other way. Unless you start doing things and see, oh, that was not difficult, you won't be able to progress.
So you heard it from Ani Filippova. Accelerating action, take action, don't sit and overthink. Is this, Ani, the advice you want to give to all our listeners? Or what would it be, your final words? If you had one piece of advice, you already touched upon, you gave already good advice. Now, is there something else you want to make sure that everybody who's watching this gets it at the back of their mind and sleep on it and think about it every time they're making a decision or they're having a hard time?
Yeah, I would say that everything you do in your life and in your career really depends on you. And there are many people around you, some will say they support you, some will doubt you, etc. But at the end, it's about you. Nobody's coming to save you. So you have to be able to do it yourself, take the risks, to be aware of what the risks are, how to overcome them, and take actions. That's the most important thing. And don't wait. I mean, you have one life, there's no sequel. You just do the things you want to do and don't have regrets, which you can't correct at the end.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Anni Filippova. And please go to the website you see below, Anni Filippova at filippova.me/membership. Join the exclusive community. I put my email yesterday there, so I'm looking forward, Anni, to accept me in the exclusive community. What are the benefits of the community, of access in this community that you're managing?
Well, in the community, I'm actually fulfilling the mission I have, which is to share my experience, knowledge from my corporate career and my entrepreneurial career, and help people decide, first of all, decide what they want to do, because there are many people stuck in their jobs and they just don't know how to change, how to move forward. Do they continue with the corporate world? Do they go out? So I want to give them these options and show them what is possible in the creators economy, how it works. I want to help them build their presence, digital presence and social media presence on LinkedIn or other social media, because this is what helps you bring customers and develop your products and offers. I want to help them. In my community, you're going to meet entrepreneurs and C-suite leaders from different companies around the world, and this is the learning from those who have done it. And I have also a portfolio career blueprint for all the people who want to actually start develop different numerous income streams instead of putting all your eggs into one basket, into one job. And plus the community, and I'm only a message away within the membership community.
Great. So join and connect with Anni Filippova. She has her own big LinkedIn following as well. Connect with her on LinkedIn. I would like to thank Anni for joining me. Thank you, Anni.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the insights and inspiration words. This is Female Leaders of Today. I've put already some questions. Let me show them again. 2 questions for the audience. What's the biggest challenge for women in business today? Let me know. I have already some messages here. But before that, because we're now a bit, I'm looking at the time, interesting discussion. I want to bring Aku Varamäki, my next guest in the studio. Aku, welcome.
Hi, Krista. Thank you. Great to be here.
I have 2 more impressive ladies waiting in the backstage. Jaana Komscha-Härkönen is joining us, and then Lu Lee is soon with us in the studio. But now you have been there listening from the backstage to Anni's take on the questions I presented to her. Is there anything that resonated with you, that you are of the same opinion, or something that that was insightful for you?
It was very inspiring to listen to Anni, and the one thought that resonated with me was the idea that also for me it's difficult to identify one woman or even like 5 women or people that would have inspired me. And I was thinking, like, who other people who have inspired me, and to me I think they have often been very like close to me. Like my mom and my grandmother, who've always been very encouraging towards me, but also like my colleagues and my like business partners, and not necessarily in the sense that these would be like perfect role models, but there's always like some qualities in these people and the way they behave in certain situations under pressure or in difficult situations where, you know, you can like look up to them and be inspired by their behavior and courage and kindness and that kind of stuff. So that's like one thought that I just got me thinking.
Aku, let me introduce you a little bit for those that they're watching us right now on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube. You're a Workday designer, and you state that your mission is to design better workdays, careers, and employee experiences. And you're also a social media influencer, activist. You're an author of a book called Future Proof. You've co-founded actually the Workday Designers Company, the agency that helps both organizations and individuals understand the changes that take place in the work life. Tell us a little bit about the inspiration what led you to focus on making workplace and work days better. What was the inspiration there? Did you see that something is broken there in the work life, and you wanted to have an impact in changing that?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I've got my background working in social media. So in that job, I really could see how work is in a flux and really changing. And I think companies and also individuals need kind of help in designing for better work days in this environment, which is changing so rapidly. So that's why we founded this company. And the more time goes by, the more I think that the work life is actually broken. Like we can see how people are suffering from depression all over the globe. And at the same time, the way we're working is not necessarily so smart. So I think we can work much smarter and actually feel better at work. So that's our goal at Workday Designers.
Have you identified some specific challenges that women are facing in the work life? And this is a question to Aku for you to tell us, but also for the audience. I'll keep the question there for everybody tuning in and watching. And now I know there are many, and say hi, thank you to everybody. But I really want to pick the audience, your insights, challenges that you've encountered, whether you're a woman or a man watching. Have you seen something that wasn't really right, that you felt that your female colleagues were not treated right, or you as a woman, you felt that this is not right? And Aku, from your perspective, are there any gender-specific challenges in the work life? You can approach it, what's happening in Finland, in Europe, around the world. Tell us, what do you know from the data, from people's own experiences?
Yeah, this is a really important topic, and I think it's really important to remember why we're celebrating Women's Day. It's to promote equal rights for everybody. And I'm a Finnish person, and I look at the Finnish work life, and Finland is one of the most equal countries in the world. Yet still we can see that we have a lot of work to do. One example is the number of women in leadership positions in Finnish companies and board members. So there's definitely a gender gap there where we need more women. And this is not just a matter of equal rights, but it's also a matter of doing great business, because we know that businesses that have more diversity, they actually get better results also financially. But then at the same time, it's good to remember that this is a global issue where women are often in a much worse position, and we need to promote equal rights for women globally, and get girls educated and so on, and really fight for women's rights, because we can see different forces rising pretty strongly in today's politics. Just look at what's happening in the US. So we have to understand that there is this historical development of women's rights, and we shouldn't take them for granted. And I think we can all see this playing out in different ways in our everyday lives, whether we're working in as highly educated professionals in one of the most equal countries like in Finland, or if we're Bangladesh women preparing our clothes. So there's a lot of work to do on so many different fields.
You spoke, Aku, about leadership and also entrepreneurship. How important is, and what changes do you think, or what could be the change that you want to see, also in terms of entrepreneurship and women really founding companies. You're a founder yourself, and this is a red thread that unites all my guests today. You have decided that I'm not going to wait to be given an opportunity. I'll create an opportunity for myself. I create my own company. I'll spend my time on my dream, my passion. How important is, of course, not everybody perhaps has the entrepreneurial spirit, but what do you think? Can all women be entrepreneurs, or what's your
Maybe not everybody. I don't think entrepreneurship is for anyone. But having said that, I think women are often a bit less cautious, and they take less risk than men with similar capabilities. So I would encourage women to become entrepreneurs and found companies, because only women can fix women's issues. Like, we have so much to give to the world. Like, if we think about women-specific health issues, for example, I think we definitely need understanding of women's lives to develop the kind of solutions that we need to improve our lives. And it's not just a matter of developing like solutions for women's bodies, for example, but also creating technology that serves women. Like, one example is AI and how it's being developed as we speak. Like, I'm also really annoyed at home because our TV won't recognize my voice. Only my husband can change the channel using the audio, the voice control, because it's been trained by male voices. And I think this is just a great everyday life example of why we need women to start these companies and be involved and bring our expertise, not just as founders, but also as experts in the field, and why we need the female point of view in business, because we all need better services, and also women are entitled to have, I want to use my voice to control the TV as well.
I don't know, maybe your husband set it up originally. That's why it has his own. That's very interesting. I have to look it up. But apart from this, Aku, from what you're passionate about, the work-life situation, you often talk about, I heard you already now, you talk about the planet and women. And one thing, women, we're very fashion-driven, and you're very active in that fashion world as well, trying to make the world more sustainable, and women really deciding with more sustainability in mind. Tell us a little bit about your social media and activism regarding the matter.
Yeah, sure. I started up an Instagram account 3 years ago called Planetaarinen Vaatekaappi in Finnish.
Here is it below.
You can find it below. It's basically the planetary wardrobe. And the idea behind the Instagram account, and also a book that I wrote with Sissi Penttila last year, the idea is that we actually calculated how many new items of clothing we can all consume globally if and when we want to consume within the planetary boundaries.
Here you can see it has already 12.1 thousand followers.
Yes. Yeah. So here I want to kind of encourage and inspire people to make the transition in the way we consume and find more sustainable ways to consume clothes, while also enjoying clothes. I think joy is a really powerful force. It can be like revolutionizing. And I think we can kind of hold on to that power, the joy, and at the same time build a world which is more equal, which takes into consideration the whole planet, and also like the social issues, which are they're a pretty critical issue when it comes to the clothing industry as well.
And clothes makes us happy, but also we have to be sustainable. And I think this fast fashion is something that perhaps women are to be blamed for. And I think we can turn the thing around and take the action really to turn this around and stop the exploitation of other females around the world, and also for the planet and its resources. So great initiative. Follow Planetaarinen Vaatekaappi on Instagram. And I would like to ask if, Aku, you have any last words before I welcome the Queen of Happiness, I call her. My next guest, Jaana Komscha-Härkönen, will join us shortly.
My piece of advice, I think, like you heard even in this little brief chat that we had, that I wear many hats. I'm a founder and entrepreneur, and then I have my activism. And I think the one kind of takeaway that I would give my younger self, or like any young people or anyone, is to follow your curiosity. I think that's the one thing that's taken me to build a career which I find very meaningful, but also given me a life which is very fulfilling. And also I think that's one thing, like when the work life is changing, it's changing really rapidly. I don't think we even realize what a transformation we're going through. So in this kind of big changes, I think it's very important to kind of follow what you're innately sort of attuned to, and there, like following your curiosity, I think it'll take you to places where you may find something that will kind of future-proof you, so that you can kind of build something new and kind of stay relevant when times are changing.
Quick question, Aku, because you're staying for a little panel for everybody tuning in and listening. Apart from Anni that had to go, we will have Aku and Jaana and Lou joining us into a panel. I'll bring everybody on the screen, and I want to hear from you, your questions, to the ladies as well. But you spoke about future-proof. You've written a book on the matter. Give me in one sentence the legacy you want to leave behind. Many years from now, when you leave this planet and someone stumbles across your big, large digital footprint and finds your initiatives and finds your name and work, how do you want to be remembered, Aku?
I'd like to be remembered, or my message to the world, whether as a Workday designer or an activist, it's to sort of design your life. I wish my message would be that I wish everyone would remember that we are the designers of our lives, and I think we have more power than we think. But often we just have to start, and we have to start from where we are and use the resources that we have. But I would like to empower everyone to see the capabilities that they have and have faith in them, in themselves. And you don't have to be self-sufficient. You don't have to do it alone, but find the people that will share the passion and who will help you build something that you want to build. It's important to remember that we're not alone in this.
Right, we're not alone in this. So I will say, Aku, take a moment to enjoy a cup of coffee or tea, and I'll bring you soon back on air. Thank you for this.
Thank you. See you soon.
And now I welcome to the studio Jaana Komscha-Härkönen, with the Queen of Happiness, the CEO of a company called Breaks. Let me put the correct, here it is. Check out more about happiness as a service. This is the term that Jaana and her team coined, happiness as a service. That's what they're offering to you, breaks.fi. Jaana, you are a very interesting person. Also, my ladies here today, my guests are very inspiring and inspirational. You started from your love of singing, you say, and the idea that it's not just a performance, right, an art, but it's about people, enjoying and creating meaningful encounters. Tell me a little bit about your journey as an entrepreneur, as a female founder, and what's the connection with singing? If you want, you can sing a song for us as well to set the right tune for Women's Day.
Oh, thank you. And it's an honor to be here. And it really made me laugh, that Queen of Happiness. I might use that later on. Thank you. Good question. I think that my story is so long that we would be here the whole week if I would start to go through all the angles and twists and turns. But when it goes back to singing, I'm not going to sing today. So to save you if somebody is now scared. But it actually, we all need something that what's the something that sort of pushes you to start your business. And for me, it really was the singing, as fun as it might sound. But I started to take singing lessons, I think that 15 years now ago. And I realized that I used to work at Helsinki Airport, commercial services. And those lessons were like medicine to me. I really started to be more innovative, created even more crazy idea than I normally do, which is might not always be a good thing. But anyways, and I started to think that why in work life companies here in Finland specifically don't really offer anything like this to their employees. We quite often tend to go to sports or various other activities. And then I thought that what if there is a organization that would actually offer art-based methods? That was the original idea of Breaks. Obviously, it has now grown and turned, but still there are a lot of artists in our idea catalog. And I still believe that each of you who are listening, if you would take that singing lesson, even go there once, you would understand what I'm talking about. It's not really even about are you able to sing or what's the use of your voice. It is a magical moment. So trust me, if anyone tries, please let me know how it went. But yeah, that was in a way, it started from my own experience and feeling that I want to change something. I want to bring something good in the world. It was never nothing related to the money. I'm a little bit now scared when everything that when we talk about entrepreneurship, it's quite often starts to go to the who gets money and who has this amount and who has that amount. And as we talk about happiness, I don't think that happiness and money have anything to do with each other. Of course, if you have a lot of money, it might make life easier, but are you happier? It might not be the case. So that's why, if somebody there is thinking that whether they want to be an entrepreneur, I would say that you need to have an idea that really is in your heart. You truly believe that you're changing something, and at this moment in the world, hopefully bringing something good to the world, to the other people.
Jaana, you said about in the beginning when you started having the ideas, or you said that something that maybe my crazy ideas. Did you feel, or have you encountered throughout your life and career that you often perhaps you brought something more creative ideas that the people were not ready? They thought that, oh, this never gonna work, or this is too creative. And tell me a little bit based on that. Do you feel that you being a woman, we talk about the different values and qualities that females have, and of course there are some gender differences, obviously, that the people from men have certain values. Not everybody is the same, of course, but stereotypically also in the literature as well, men are considered to be more assertive, more logical, where females also are the more caring. And you talk about happiness, and these are soft skills. Often those are associated with females, right, as they're meant to be caregivers. So do you feel that you being a woman, you brought something unique to the table that perhaps in the tables you were sitting, it was misunderstood, or they couldn't understand what are you talking about, why those soft skills and why singing lessons and why happiness is important? Did you have this do you speak different language in different the tables you were sitting?
Absolutely. So I have to admit that my path has definitely not been the easiest one. As me being I'd say that I'm in some perspectives quite unfinished, and being a sort of outgoing, called as a Alice in Wonderland. But the one thing I truly believe that the future, when you look at the world today, do we really need more technology and sort of a rational thinking, or what if we would need to have more empathy, more kindness, and more caring, which I think that are values that I've carried throughout my life, and many female do. So, and I'm thinking that even if you are developing a technical solution, if there would be more females in the group, the solutions would be so much better. But just like Aku mentioned, the angles and the perspectives would be very different. Just asking that, think about that if developers of Instagram or Facebook would have mothers in the team, what type of solutions, how it would have changed the way the social media would be today, because probably the mothers would have been telling that, hey, but you cannot, you have to control the content somehow, and what about when the kids see it? But young guys didn't really see it, right? So I'm thinking that there are a lot of solutions and even problems that could have been out of our table if there would be more female leaders on those teams.
Exactly, because this creates groupthink. When you have
Yeah.
only one of something and there's not a representation, you create groupthink. Groupthink is what even took the Challenger down. You know, when the engineers failed to see the problems based on how they saw the things. But if you have an external viewpoint, I think exactly as you said, then that's where the magic happens. It really enriches the perspective. Otherwise, you're looking only from one very narrow-minded perspective. Great. Jaana, I want to welcome Lou in the studio with me. She's patiently waiting there in the backstage. Stay put, and I will bring you shortly to talk with all the ladies in the panel discussion.
Thank you.
So I say for now, bye, Jaana, and I welcome Lou Lee. Hello. I cannot hear you. You're muted now. Just you've been patiently. Yes, now here you are.
Good morning, Krista. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you so much. I know you, or know of you, the longest, Lou. The longest out of all the ladies I featured today. Allow me to say, from the people that don't know you already, you are also an inspirational woman, an author. I know you through the book Dear Female Founder. This book, you have written it back in 2016. 16, yeah. So it's a unique book. You asked a simple question: if successful female entrepreneurs and investors wrote one letter of advice to the next generation of female entrepreneurs out there, what would they write about? And you went out and collected insights from 66 inspirational female founders, entrepreneurs, sharing their insights, sharing their business advice. So from all this knowledge that you transferred, and of course you're many more things, you're LinkedIn goddess, strategist, ghostwriter, helping others create a strong social media presence as well. But tell me a little bit, is there a red thread that connects all those 66 letters? Did you see anything that connected all the 66 or the majority of them? What would be the gist of the book? Is there one advice or a top 3 you would like to share with our audience today?
Yeah, I think maybe the one, they're all very different actually. And that was also a little bit of the point, to say that there's not just one path in entrepreneurship. The reason why I published the book back in 2016, before Me Too happened, before kind of, people were even talking about female entrepreneurs, is because I used to host, startup events for female founders in London. And we just realized that all the books that everybody was reading and trying to learn from were written by white men from Silicon Valley or elsewhere. And I just felt like women also had interesting stories to share. And I also have always believed to this day that there's not one recipe for a successful business or how to build a successful business. And even like the word success can mean different things to different people. So therefore, all the 66 letters, I really also try to curate from all around the world, not just from the UK, not just from the US, women from different countries, different types of businesses, founders, investors, and so forth. And I think the one thing that maybe ties them all together is that they were all, they all believed in themselves, in their ideas that they wanted to pursue, no matter what it was, right? Some were potentially on the surface fitting into more, the tech, high growth narrative. Others were building an NGO or, doing other things basically, right? And but they were very entrepreneurial in their own rights and, very successful in their own rights. And I feel that is still a theme that I carry forward to my work today. Essentially, now that I'm helping people with building their LinkedIn presence, but essentially it is the same thing. I used to run events, a co-working space, connecting women with investors, like with each other to help them get their business started. Now I do it in the online space because now like LinkedIn is the networking platform still. And with the world has changed after the pandemic, we are working remotely. We have access through LinkedIn to all the global opportunities if we wanted to. Takes a bit of work, of course, but it's the same, for me, it's like the same kind of essence of helping people create and build something for themselves.
And as you see below, you please connect with Luli at House of Lee on LinkedIn. She's offering 20 minutes of her time to audit your own LinkedIn profile. She will tell you if you have an all-star LinkedIn profile or what needs to happen in order for you to have a great personal brand and digital presence online. She's remarkable in doing that. And again, that's a very common thread with all the ladies here what are featured today. You're very entrepreneurial. You know your personal brand, you're passionate about various causes. And what you said, Lou, you said you want to help. So that's very key here, because I also think that women, we really try to uplift. And I posted a question, but I want to address it to you as well. So tell me, please, the question is for the audience below as well. What's the best way for women to support and uplift others in their careers? Did you have a mentor? Did you have a strong female person in your life guiding you, or do you come from an entrepreneurial family, or it just happened, it was just to survive you had to become one? What was your tell us a little bit about your story and hopefully inspire others as well.
Yeah, so I do not come from an entrepreneurial family at all. My parents were Chinese. We immigrated to Germany when I was 6 years old, and it was pretty standard immigrant life to go to college, take a safe job, work for a big company, the bigger the better, basically. But I think my path into entrepreneurship was just really like an inner voice that basically I physically felt that I wasn't cut out for this corporate career. It's not the right place. I can try to force myself into a situation, but it's just not going to work. And thankfully, I would say I've had those feelings in my 20s already. So I left my corporate career at the end of my 20s and started my entrepreneurial career at the beginning of my 30s. It's been 12 years now, so there's some time has passed, and of course everything goes like up and down, but I think it also kind of fits quite well with my personality, so I don't mind it at all. I actually quite like it in a weird way. but yeah, so I did not had that many role models as well. I moved to London in 2014 because I wanted to be part of a more entrepreneurial ecosystem, and I did meet with women there. And what I started doing is just to kind of pick and choose, right? I still also, like Annie in the beginning, wouldn't say there's one person, right? That I'm like, I want to have your life. I want to exactly do what you do. But I have several, like really, really plenty that I'm like, oh, I like how you do this one thing. I like how you kind of, do the other thing, right? And I try to learn from many, many people and curate my mentorship, I suppose.
You said about the expectations of your family, and this is something perhaps I want to open it up for discussion for the panel discussion to the rest of our guests. You said that coming from an immigrant family, people who had to leave their home country to go somewhere else in the hopes of a better future for themselves and their children. And of course, there's different culture and national mindsets as well. And you spoke about your Chinese heritage. Did you feel that did it take you a lot of time and years to get rid of those expectations that what will my parents think? What will the neighbors think? Was it an internal battle you had to fight before really going out and say, hey, this doesn't fit me. I'm not meant for this. I'm sorry to disappoint you. And did you have you received the acceptance of your family?
Yeah, so the short answer is yes, eventually. I think I have always tried to kind of educate my parents a little bit as well, that, we're kind of live in a different culture. And but I also have to say, in Germany, people are also not that entrepreneurial overall, let's be honest. So what they wanted, their vision for my future was very aligned with the German version of somebody's career. But I just really kind of felt it physically, right? Like, when you start looking into the mirror, you get dressed, you look into the mirror and you're like, I hate myself. Like, what the heck am I doing? Like, that's a pretty clear sign that you're in the wrong, space, you're doing the wrong thing, you shouldn't be here, basically. And I have a fairly strong personality where I'm like, I'd rather do something that makes me happy, and I don't really care whether that makes less money or whatever. Like, I really don't care. I just cannot, what sort of maybe adds to this, I've also always seen my dad working his ass off. He was a workaholic, many fathers potentially. And I was just like, I don't want to be that person. I like to work myself, but for a purpose, like for or at least something that makes me happy and that makes me feel fulfilled, not for other people's external goals and things that they kind of set in front of me. It just felt so misaligned that it took me maybe half a year, I want to say, which in the grand scheme of things, I want to say is fairly quick. I know other people who have been struggling with this question for years, and the longer you kind of embark on your career, the harder it is to jump off and do something very different. Kudos to Annie, by the way, that she made the change fairly late, quote unquote, in her career, but it's never too late, and she's doing a great job, completely reinventing herself.
So it's about reinvention, and I like to, and leading with purpose. You said the word purpose. At this point, I would like, first of all, to say again, urge everybody, House of Lee on LinkedIn. Get your 20 minutes of LinkedIn audit by Lou herself. She's a LinkedIn strategist, so she knows what she's talking about. She built her own personal brand. And check out her book, Dear Female Founder, on Amazon. Get a copy of it as well. I would like to bring now, Lou, the ladies here with us to join, because I want to ask you, ladies, what is your purpose in life? Are you leading with purpose? Let's sum this up, and then we talk about the future, where we are heading. What is the future of the workplace? Where is our planet going? There's a lot of things that I think we are living in quite a transformative, to say the least, era and years. So let me start with Lou. Lou, what is your purpose now in life?
My purpose is to help everybody else get aligned professionally and build the businesses or have the careers that they want to have. Mostly businesses, though, because I love entrepreneurs, with the, through LinkedIn, because I believe that LinkedIn is still the platform to get professional opportunities globally or just in your country, it doesn't matter. And it really sort of allows you to build the business that you want to build. And that's why I focus on this channel in particular.
Great. So LinkedIn, helping others or helping female entrepreneurs succeed in their goal setting and personal branding. How about Jaana?
Well,
what's your
for me,
purpose?
it's quite easy to be happy and to make others to be happy. But just to jump into more detail, I guess that it goes like Lou said, helping others, and also trying to raise my kids to be better people. You might know that what I mean, that they are kind and empathic and try to see others as well, not just themselves. And I think that I've managed quite well. And talking yesterday with the teacher, but we need more good people to this world. So I'm trying to raise the next generation who probably understands things better than what we do now.
And it's nice that you mentioned, I was planning to ask you, who of you are mothers? Because females, we are yes, and Aku. And me, myself, let me ask Aku, what is your purpose, Aku? First, as a woman, second, as a mother, and third, as a professional?
First, as a woman, my purpose, I think it links to sustainability. I think the issues that I work with, I'm fighting for a better future for our children. And I think it links to a lot of equality issues as well. So if you like, I've just kind of picked to kind of focus on the textiles industry, which is, it's not particularly close to my heart. I mean, it is now, but I don't have a special relationship with fashion or clothes, actually. But it's such an interesting topic because it links to also social issues. And I think ecological and social issues, they're often intertwined. So as a woman, I think my goal is to make the world a better place, especially for women. As a mother, of course, I want to raise my children to be empathetic. What Jaana said, it sounded very familiar. My youngest has a developmental disability, so of course, providing a good life for him, that's a big purpose in my life. But I think while doing that, I also want to advocate for other families who are in the same position as we are. I think we are very lucky because we live in Finland with excellent healthcare and all that. So I would like all families who are in the same position to have the same opportunities as our son, but we're very far from that. And what was the last aspect?
As a woman, mother, professional.
Professionally, I think professionally, it links back to sustainability, but more on the social responsibility side of things. So I want to design for better work days for everybody, build a work life that is inclusive. And also, I think it's possible to build a work life that is also like flourishing and creating sustainable growth while maintaining the, creating well-being for people and the planet. So, but it's a big sort of transition that we're in. But yeah, that keeps me going.
Ladies, give us now, for our listeners and viewers, some practical tips, or is there any routine or mindset that you have on a daily basis or consistently that you've been following that helps you follow your goals, stay consistent, getting up from bed despite the weather, the challenges, the obligations, taking kids to school back and forth, or going to events, or helping your clients? Is there something, tell us from your personal experience, something that helps you stay focused, stay consistent, getting up and doing the hard thing and push forward? Lou?
Yes, and that is a new mindset that I've acquired in the last, literally the last couple of months, looking at the world and how much is changing, and just, what the heck is going on. Now I really drive my actions towards like thinking about what future Lou would be thankful for, that today's Lou would do today, basically, because I think it is a time where I think everybody needs to start thinking about what the future might look like in all different versions, and just prepare in a way. I'm not kind of like sort of not to sound negative or something, but I think we have to think about as women, our pensions, our retirement, like how long will we have to work, right? And what ways do we have to work, like full-time, part-time, etc. So I really try to think about what future
What
Lou
the
in
future
20
holds.
like
So
what would future Lou in 20, 30 years be grateful for that I would do today?
And I think I do, if I may say my personal also, I also try to take better health of not only my mind, but my body, that I often am so intellectual or in my mind, love reading and thinking. And I often realize, or lately I realized that I've been neglecting my body. So I started exercising more, thinking that who will take care of me? I have to be able to walk and climb a flight of stairs and things like that. Also, my physical body matters. I'm not going to be connected. I don't want to be connected to AI and then my body is in a wheelchair, God forbid. So things like that, as you said, thinking.
Strength is a big topic for women. Strength,
muscle strength,
Mm-hmm.
exactly, and bone density as we all age. So we have also this thanks to estrogen. But Jaana, how about you? What is a good habit that you're practicing, or a mindset that you're having that takes you in the future, makes you future proof?
Yeah, I have two things that really keep me going when some of the people are asking that, where do you come up with these ideas that the moment you feel that there is no easy way out, and then next day I'm like, whoa, it's taking dancing lessons and singing. So it's really a magic what happens there when I'm going there, like the world is collapsing, and then when I go home I'm like, now I know the solution. And I think that it really goes back to movement and of
embodiment.
Course, yeah, and the music, and like I mentioned earlier, singing with rock band every week. I take these, and no matter what has happened, I've of course there are times that you feel that you're too busy, and you tend on not doing the things that you really should be doing, like going to have a dance lesson when you feel like you don't know the answer, and you start thinking that I should just quit it and do this work more and more, but I've kept those throughout the years, and I think that that's one of the reasons why I'm still sitting here today.
Very good. I feel that women, at least I can speak for myself and many women that I know, we have this kind of martyr syndrome. At least I feel myself looking at my mom and what she has passed on to me. I often put my own myself as a second and third and fourth priority, right? Because my son is the number one, and the house needs to be clean, and the food needs to be made. And then I find the little time, as you said, there might be this guilt. I don't know if Aku, you're experiencing something like that, but tell us, please, what do you do to future-proof yourself? And really, as Lou also said, make sure that the future Aku is surviving well in the world that is being shaped currently.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of balance. So I try to kind of build systems where I don't have to think about the good choices. So that, like, I have a system that I run 10 kilometers every week. It's not a very ambitious goal. I mean, anyone who's a serious runner, for people like that, it's a ridiculously small amount of running. But to me, it's something where I have to get up and just do it, and doing it consistently kind of, keeps me in shape. Also, once a week, I do strength training with a group of other women, which is so much fun and, keeps me strong. It's like having my savings and, finances in order, having like our everyday like meal prepping that we do with my husband, and, things like that, which are quite boring to think about. So I try to build systems where I cannot fail. So it's automated, and I don't have to think about it. Those are the kind of things that are not necessarily fun. So I don't want to use my willpower and think about if I'm going to do it or not, but I just do it. And then while I have these systems in place, then I try to kind of connect with myself and kind of feel like, attuned to joy and things that inspire me, things that I'm kind of naturally drawn to. And I think, finding the balance between these two, where you have joy in your life. I think it's a great, like what Jaana just said about singing and all that. I think it's just, having joy in your life, it just brings you so much energy and keeps you going and kind of helps you to renew and be attuned with yourself. So I think it's a fine balance. You can't kind of forget to do the boring things and the hard work, but it can't be just hard work. You also have to have the joy, and maybe that's the time that you can spend doing the things that you love. But it can be also time with your family or whatever brings you joy.
And I think that what Lou, you said about your parents, I can relate to my hardworking, almost workaholic parents who didn't do anything fun. Everything was work, 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 work. And they sacrificed a lot on the quality time of the family. They were amazing people. They had no life, no hobbies for themselves. They only did, and they say, we did it for you to have a better life. And you might feel that, well, I've been looking, my love language is quality time. I want to spend the quality time with you. So what you said, Aku, now to bring that quality time also, not just do the mundane and obvious, the basic human needs. Of course, we need to eat and have a good home, a roof on top of our heads. But then what happens in the emotional, psychological level? I want my last question to be to all of you. What qualities you believe that every successful woman should have in the future? Because the time, as you said now, is to work now on those habits, on those skills. And they say that it takes at least 21 days to form a good habit. But tell us a little bit, Lou, I'll start with you. Qualities that women should have or should develop so that they be ready and even more equipped to make it happen, to succeed in the future. And currently, I mean, we're living now.
Big question. My first thought was setting boundaries. I think pretty much every woman needs to set more boundaries because society, everybody, kind of demands a lot from us. But I think correlated to that, I probably would say actually the one quality is to really get in tune with yourself and your own energy, to kind of design your life and your days to make it as flowing as possible. And then setting the boundaries around all the things that drain your energy, that you feel forced to do, that you feel obligated to do. Just try to cut them out more and more. It probably doesn't happen from overnight, but more and more. And just kind of like getting in the habit, I guess, of doing that.
How about Jaana?
That's a big question, but one word to my mind was resilience. That you really need to be able to know that the things that you don't know, but you still need to do it. And the constant, like in today's world, when we don't know what happens, there have been a lot of things happening. So you need to just get up and do it, regardless what happens. And of course, sometimes life brings you things from personal side which are quite unexpected. So I think that there's the difference, that the moment when you talked about that being a successful female entrepreneur, you just keep on going no matter what, and somehow cope with the fact that there might be heavy times, but then the better times are coming. It's like really a roller coaster road. So I guess that's a being resilient is one of the key elements, in my
There's
opinion.
some kind of hope for the future, as you said, maybe looking ahead and feeling hopeful that despite the roller coaster, there's a light at the end of this tunnel. If you're brave and consistent and resilient now, maybe it pays off, hopefully.
Yeah, and because it cannot always be, happy moments, of course. Otherwise, you don't even understand the happiness. You don't have the hard times. But, trusting that the light is at the end of the tunnel, if sometimes it feels like that.
Cool.
I'd like to highlight the importance of empathy and kindness. I don't think there are particularly female qualities. I think we have that in all of us, but I think in today's world we kind of value these very hard qualities, and empathy and kindness are seen as female qualities and maybe lesser qualities, and I think they are something that many women have, and we should cherish them. And we shouldn't we shouldn't believe when we're told that, we are too soft, or that we should be, more, tough and toughen ourselves. I think we should remain soft and remain empathetic. And I think those are really crucial skills. They are great in business because you can build better products for your clients, but they're also great qualities because we have very big issues to tackle in this time, like climate crisis, or to build a more equal world, or whatever it is, and also to have more empathy and kindness towards ourselves. So I think the future is definitely female, and I think by that I mean that it should be kind of more empathetic and more kind, and we shouldn't abandon those qualities, but embrace them, and also teach our boys be more empathetic and kind.
Yes, the future is female, and definitely everybody, men and women, strive for a better future. I think that's the message. We are all one race, and that's the human race, and we have one planet, and this is our home. So I'd like to think holistically. I would like to thank you all, amazing, inspirational women. Luli joining us today, Jaana, Komscha-Härkönen, Anna-Kaisa, Varamäki. Thank you so much. And of course, Annie Filippova, who was in the beginning of the show sharing her insights. I would warmly like to thank you one more time. Happy International Women's Day, and all the best of success to you, and health and happiness and success to all your endeavors. It's been a great pleasure having you and talking to you and getting to hear your insights and stories and advice. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Krista, for having us.
Thank you. Happy Women's Day.
Thank you. Bye. So I would like to thank everybody for tuning in and listening. This was the special episode, a special show to honor the International Women's Day that takes place tomorrow, is every year on March 8th. So celebrate, and of course throughout the year, the importance of women. So thank you to everybody. I have a lot of hellos here, and thank you, and so on. And thank you for tuning in and listening. Of course, if you're working, this is a working day today, you will be able to watch the replay on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Thank you so much. And I will see you next Monday with my own show on air, powered by OneStream Live, as this one as well. Make sure you check out OneStream.live if you want to broadcast your own voice and talk about your own thoughts and insights and projects from your browser. I'm streaming live here in front of my laptop and creating this amazing branded episodes and shows. So big thanks to OneStream Live for powering the show and this special show today. So thank you for tuning in. I will see you Monday with an episode of my own show on air, and the theme is the art of storytelling. I'll talk to you about storytelling. Hopefully you heard about some interesting stories today, and keep thinking about how you build your own story and your own personal brand. Thank you, everybody. Happy International Women's Day. Bye.